honorable ministers here, ladies and gentlemen of the press, good afternoon, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. I have presented a memo under Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy for Galaxy Backbone Limited, a federal government company. And what the memo speaks about is the need to upgrade and be more aligned to digital transformation in our activities. We have seen how COVID-19 pandemic brought about the need to be conducting activities virtually. And today we have attended the 14th Virtual Federal Executive Council. And this is unprecedented. And we have been pushed by necessity to be more to virtual activities. It is because of this, Galaxy Backbone Limited has deployed ICT infrastructure in federal public institutions like State House here, where they have 1,500 land points, that is local area network points. Federal Secretariat Phase 1, they have 2,750 land points. Federal Secretariat Phase 2, 4,896 local area network points. And SGM office, where they have 1,176 local area network, and even Mabushi, where Minister of Works and Housing resides, they have around 800 local area network points. Most of the facilities being used have been deployed 10, 11, or 12 years ago. The most recent facilities in most of the places are the ones deployed 8 years ago. And the validity of these facilities usually is 5 years maximum. So now we have some that are up to 11 or 12 years. So there is need for these facilities to be upgraded. Why? Because we are going virtual almost every day. And only Almighty knows when this COVID pandemic will leave us. However, we are very optimistic and prayerful as well. So it is because of this, Mr. President has directed that we should conduct an audit assessment of all the federal public institutions and their need in order to upgrade their facilities. We have done that, and the report has been presented before the council, being chaired by our boss, Mr. President. And secondly, after that, Galaxy Backbone Limited has been established in order to be providing digital services to institutions. And with the presentation and the prayer contains therein in the memo, federal government has redirected as well that all federal public institutions should always contact Galaxy as their first point of call whenever they have any IT project to be executed there. So most importantly, our presentation here is about upgrading our ICT infrastructure, and secondly, directing institutions to patronize Galaxy, and thirdly, to show to us the commitment of federal government towards promotion of our government digital services. And this is in summary what the memo is all about. Number one, on our higher institutions of learning that have been shut down because of COVID-19. I think this question is more relevant to our colleagues in the Ministry of Education. We have two ministers there, Malang Adamu and Mr. Chukwemeka Nwajuba. They are the ones in charge of our education, particularly at the tertiary level, while primary schools usually, and even most of the secondary schools, are under state, not federal government. However, I will respond to the question superficially about what we have been doing in that regard. Firstly, at the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy and the parastatals we supervise, we have so many interventions in universities to facilitate online activities. For example, like Wide Area Network. We deployed this in many institutions. As a case study here in Abuja, we have deployed it since in University of Abuja. North Central, for example, we earlier deployed it in Federal University, here in Lafayette, and even Federal Polytechnic. So we have deployed in many universities, not all. And secondly, we also deployed virtual libraries in many higher institutions of learning in the country, even before the issue of COVID-19 pandemic came up. And most of them had been deployed to be used by lecturers and students in the course of teaching and learning. Thirdly, we have a policy in place promoting virtual teaching and learning, that is ICT in federal universities. And we have another policy on the virtual learning in higher institutions of learning in Nigeria. Our main role is to deploy or to develop the policies. We have the policies in place, and we have been providing intervention from time to time to facilitate virtual teaching and learning. And furthermore, we are, if you look at even national digital economy policy and strategy, we have been working on that. And we have captured online activities. In addition, we also have National Broadband Plan 2020-2025 to ensure that our broadband penetration in the country is increased and enhanced significantly. For example, if you look at the broadband came to Nigeria roughly around 2000. Up to 2019, the broadband penetration was around 31%. But from the time Mr. President focuses more on the ICT sector, within less than a year, the increase in broadband penetration in Nigeria from last year August to this year August is almost 10%. But in the previous years, 2001, 2, 3, the average increase is 1.5%. But now 10% within a year. This is unprecedented. Broadband penetration is key. Without that, you cannot be able to be promoting and conducting virtual teaching and learning, because some of the institutions could not be in our major cities where the access to broadband is feasible. So these are some of the things that we have been doing. And finally, we also recently developed another document as a form of advice to the Ministry of Education, which will be forwarded to them, the way maybe we can leverage on satellite communications and continue to conduct teaching and learning. And I think I have answered this question. Secondly, on the issue of monopoly of Galaxy. Firstly, what I want the questioner to understand is the fact that that directive has been in place for years. This is, for example, a circular of the federal government dated 18 June 2007. And there is another one, 2011. In all these directives, federal government has mandated MDAs to patronize Galaxy. It is not an issue of a new directive, but rather to re-emphasize and ensure that there is compliance. Number two, Galaxy is a federal government company. Any money paid to Galaxy is going directly to Treasury single account. It's for the federal government. And the company has been established primarily in order to provide digital services to federal public institutions, all the ministries, departments, and agencies. And government has invested huge amount of money in Galaxy, like NICTIB 1, which covers part of North Central, Southeast, South, and Southwest. This investment was done in order to provide services to the federal public institution. And this is for government. So the directive has nothing new in it, but rather to re-emphasize. And secondly, the opportunities are many. If federal public institutions patronizes Galaxy, there are many activities that can be conducted which could be outside the services being provided by Galaxy, and they are more than enough for them to compete there. Thank you very much.
Presented a memorandum to Council for the Gada Zaima Zuru Gamji Road in Kebbi State for two approvals. The first was to approve the emergency works, to ratify the emergency works that were undertaken over 7 kilometers between 2019 and at 1.145 billion. And then to approve the award by the same contractor to now complete the balance of 55 kilometers, which was approved also at 10.589 billion. So just by way of emphasis is that we did an emergency 7 kilometers out of 62 kilometers. Because it was emergency, we need to come for ratification, which was given, and we now get approval to award the remaining 55 kilometers so that we can complete the road, which was also given.
Today in Council, the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning presented a memo which was a request for ratification of Mr. President's anticipatory approval for the contract for the Customs Modernization Project. The purpose of the memo that we presented to Council was for a project that will enable the complete automation of the Nigerian Customs Service processes, procedures, using the application of information and technology in all aspects of customs administration in favor of a firm in the name of Messrs. E. Customs HC Project Limited for a concessionary period of 20 years. The main objective of this project is to completely automate every aspect of the customs business and to institutionalize the use of smart and emerging technologies that will enhance the statutory function of the Nigerian Customs Service in the areas of revenue generation, as well as trade facilitation and enhancement of security. The total cost of the project is in the sum of $3.1 billion, and the consortium, the PPP group that have been approved, are led by Messrs. Hawaii Technologies and with 4 other members. The committee that led this process also looked at the national trading platform process that has been going on for years and confirmed that the Nigerian e-Customs project is a subset of the national trading platform, and in fact it prepares the Nigerian Customs to play its lead role in the national trading platform. The consortium of businesses that came together to form this include Messrs. Bionica Technologies West Africa Limited, Bergam Security Consultant and Supplies Limited, as these are lead sponsor and co-sponsor. We also have Africa Finance Corporation as a lead financier and Huawei Technology as a technical service provider. So Council today ratified Mr. President's approval for the PPP, a concession for a 20-year period to Messrs. E. Customs HC Project Limited as the concessionaire for the delivery of the Customs Modernization project. This is a project that will not have an immediate cost to the government. The investors are providing all of the financing, and this project will be deployed in 3 phases, and they will recover their investment over the concessionary period of 20 years. Nigerian Customs currently has some level of automation of its services, but it's not all of its services that is automated. This is an end-to-end automation of all of Nigerian Customs Service processes, and is going to bring huge value to the country. So this investment of $3.1 billion is broken down into capital investment of $1.2 million that will be done in 3 phases over 36 months by these investors. And the $1.8 million is our projection of the operational cost over the 20-year period of the implementation of this project. This project has the potential to yield up to $176 billion of revenue for the project. And the consortia that are providing these investments are going to be paid over time according to a schedule that is negotiated for their investments, including their profit and cost of funds. So this is the best possible way for Nigeria to be able to roll out very important capital projects using funds from the private sector and providing service for the use of the Nigerian people and the government. We hope that at some point that revenues from oil will begin to be insignificant compared to revenue from non-oil in the Nigerian economy. That's our aspiration, and that is the true meaning of diversification. Thank you.
Memorandum in Council, which was consequently approved, and the memo is to upgrade and refurbish the safe tower equipment in 4 airports: Lagos, Kano, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. This is just to increase the efficiency of the airport and reduce the workload in the control tower, and to automate what was hitherto analog systems to digital. Quick example is all of the data we collect at the end of runways within the airport and so on and so forth will now be displayed instantly on our platform in the control tower. So the information regarding weather, regarding all of the components of weather, wind, rain, microburst, etc., will be displayed automatically. So the issue of giving out weather reports every hourly will change to giving you an instant weather, which will improve the pilot's efficiency. And then the workload on the controller is reduced so he can handle more flights into the airport. And this is a huge departure, including also flight planning. Is no longer companies will make flight plan and then climb up the tower and submit physically and get approval and come down. It will just be done digitally now and approved as is obtained globally. The total contract sum is 13 billion 122 million 230,999 naira and 17 kobo. This is in 2 parts. First component, which is a foreign component, is 28 million euro 489,565 even. And then the naira component is 3 billion 491 million 504,488 naira and 31 kobo. Of course, there will be 7.5 VAT added. It will be for completion period of 12 months. And this has been approved as part of things that we do in civil aviation that passengers don't see. That is a major work that we do. It's not terminal building or runway which you can see. These are things that are out there in the bushes, to which contributes to safety and security of our airspace. Well, regarding the question as to margin of directorates and NCA, I think you are making reference to. This is a matter of policy. We are driving a roadmap which was approved by Mr. President a long time ago, that we will make all our agencies very efficient, we'll reduce bureaucracy, we'll streamline them and narrow them and make them in accordance with international best practice. Some of the directors that don't fall within the approved roadmap will certainly have to go. It's just a matter of policy, and it's going to cut across almost every single agency there. I had explained that how we are not able to take in one agency 45 general managers, each one of them level 17, that they are not backed by any law. They're just matters of policy. So this government in place is looking at all areas where we can make more efficient the art of governance. So in the discharge of that duty, we had carried out those changes. And like I said, they will continue across board, and they are in the interest of the industry, aviation, and the country, Nigeria. And very soon, before the end of the year, a new Civil Aviation Act will be in place. It's at its third reading now in National Assembly after they must have conducted the public hearing. That will bring further changes in civil aviation to make them very efficient and cost-effective and drive the policy of government. Thank you.